All right, let's connect up here. Hopefully it connects. Charging, we're good. I think we're good for today, August 18th, 2019, coming at you live stream. Hopefully we'll be able to connect and be all right with everything going a little minute early. I don't know why I can't see, but should be all right. So let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below and your questions on there too. So much better. I think we're going good there. My man Lincoln, how we doing? How we doing? So I'm going a little early. I'll wait to pick it up in a couple minutes, but I just want to make sure the connection was good. Hopefully we'll stay connected. You never know what you're going to get. What's up, Lincoln, Sandra, Joey the Gator, Benjamin Berdalik? Thank you guys for joining me today, Sunday, August 18th, 2019. I'm excited. You're excited. Let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. Let's spin off a little bit too. The big news is about the Fear the Walking Dead because Fear the Walking Dead is on right now. The Walking Dead has been on hiatus for season 10 filming last week. So if you've seen some people around, then they could be in different places, but they were off. They had a week off. That you do this every year too. So I'm excited to talk about a bunch of different topics. Post your comments, questions. You can always do a super chat as well as there too. So welcome everybody. We're still a couple minutes early. Just want to make sure the connection was good. But Lincoln, Sandra, Joey the Gator, Benjamin, John, Selma, Boyd, James, Jennifer, Andrew, and a bunch of other people just joined. Thank you for joining me this Sunday and every Sunday you choose to be here, and I definitely do appreciate it. So got to put that general spoiler warning out there for the comic, the show, Fear the Walking Dead, spin-off stuff. If you're worried about spoilers, I don't know why you're here because it says spoiler warning in the the title, but it's interesting because people still always give me crap for it. So thank you, James. I appreciate you guys too. So Joey the Gator jumping off on a question already. I guess I'll jump into the Q&A. Did you see what's episode 15 will be about? Everyone is saying Grace will die, especially in episode 15. So I saw the synopsis of the different episodes 11 through 15 or 11 through 16. I forget what exactly it was, but I shared them in a video, and she's sick. She's not doing well. So it's just one of those things. So that likely, I think Grace is going to die because we haven't had a character die this season. So it's kind of crazy to have that. We're going in on, I watched the episode yesterday, episode 10, and we're coming up on 11, 12. The back half of season 5 is going strong, but it's kind of like, man, we don't know if we're going to lose any big characters. We're probably going to lose some smaller characters for sure, but I don't know. We'll see. Is Grace in danger? I think so. I think that's the type of character that would get killed off. I don't think Morgan's in danger. Strand. Maybe Daniel if he wants off the show, but that's really what it's been. A lot of people have left the show, and they didn't want to be on it anymore, so they killed him off. Some people are holding hope for Madison, but we'll talk about season 5, episode 10, the episode. Overall, it was a decent episode. It's kind of a bottle episode. They do progress the story somewhat, but it's more of a bottle episode than anything. But hopefully you like Morgan, and hopefully you like Grace and Dwight, because they're the big factors of the episode. Daniel's in there a little bit, but it's not really that too many other characters. Still haven't seen Wendell yet. Didn't see him last episode. You don't see him here in this episode. So you're like, okay, what's up with Wendell? I like Wendell too. I like the character. I like the idea of Wendell. I don't know what's going to happen with that character. We haven't seen him, so we'll see what happens later on. We're going to get some new characters. We're going to get some more new characters in future episodes, and we kind of get a new character this episode too, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's see a couple questions here. Sorry, a bunch of people joining me. Thank you guys for taking the time. Lincoln Q&A, do you think that Alicia will slowly deteriorate like Grace is and hides it? That could happen. I could see that happening but is Alicia important for the show? I think so. Is Grace? Somewhat, but I don't think Grace is that important as Alicia. If you have to rank certain characters for the story, I think it goes Morgan, Alicia, Dwight, John and June together. Strand's up there for sure. Charlie could go. Luciana could go. I like John, so I don't want him to go at all. But you don't know. I don't know what the writers are going to do. We never know. And it's kind of annoying because some characters, and I'll talk about Daniel in a second, but Daniel Rubin is pissed annoyed, frustrated, somewhat not happy with them glancing over the storyline with how he got there from the dam. And if the actor is kind of that way, what do you think the audience is like? It's kind of crazy. But I don't know what's going to happen with Madison coming back. I don't think she is. Some people are holding out hope. I think she's gone. I kind of want Walker and Crazy Dog to come back around. That would be pretty awesome. But I don't know. I don't think Troy's coming back. I know people are holding out hope there for that. But I just kind of wish the story was a little bit better in all aspects. I wish the show was a little bit better. But, I'm not having too high hopes for the show. I'm just having low expectations. And if it's good, it's good. But it's connected to the universe, so, I watch it. Lena, hey, Bri, do you think Carol will take out Alpha? I hope so. In my recent video with my different theories and discussion topics that people still are, I knew people were going to get, I don't know, annoyed or frustrated or whatever they get, negative with my latest theory that people are wearing black. Magna, Michonne, Daryl, always wearing black. Father Gabriel's always wearing black. But Rosita, Alpha, there's a lot of people wearing black in the promo pictures, and I think it's going to get more and more of it. So does that mean that Akani, are they wearing black in the outfits? Does that mean that someone in their group or someone close to them is going to be taken out, or themselves? I think it's a possibility for sure, because we're going to lose people, and it's just a fun theory. But I think Carol, and I hope Carol takes out Carol hopefully takes out Alpha, not herself. Hopefully takes out Alpha, because it would make more sense. She wants revenge, so I think she should get it, and that would be pretty awesome. I think that would be the best way to go. Some people want Negan, and I can see that, but Negan just has no connection with these characters, so I think it just would be a comic connection that would be a little much, but I don't know if it's going to have happen at all. But I think Alpha's got to go down one way or another, and I hope it's Carol personally. Yenzi Q&A, do you think that Dwight will find Sherry at the end of the season? That's always been my theory, that if he's going to find her, they're going to stretch it out to the very end. Hopefully this season. They could carry that into the next season too, because something big is going to happen that's going to change this series forever, is what the showrunners love to say. Well, hopefully it just gets better. Hopefully it's some magic thing that, wow, it's great now. I just don't know. The show has been all over the place, up and down, all around, highs and lows. And it's one of those stories that is frustrating to watch, because they move around and they go around way too much. So if you've seen 510, or even the previews or the promo pictures, that they go to a mall, right? And I think that a mall needs to be connected with the zombie apocalypse, just because it's a great place to be. Food, shelter, water, supplies, it's secure. They should have like a bedding store or something like that, so you can buy supplies, or a survival store. You got entertainment, you got books, you got everything you need in a mall. You got everything. Well, malls are kind of on the way out, in my opinion, now, but malls have everything you need in life, and let alone for a zombie apocalypse, if you want to kind of be around some people. But it's got to be tough to secure, and there's a lot of glass, a lot of windows, and everything there too. But they go to a mall. And I'm going to give you one guess. Do they stay at the mall? Are they going to build a community there? Because if you watch the show, nope. So the show started in California. Then it got on a boat. Then it went to Mexico. Then a different part of Mexico. And then it went back to the United States. And it was at a ranch. And then it went to the stadium. And then it went to nowhere. Oh, no, the dam. The ranch. And then the dam. And then this thing. And it's like so many different things to hear in there. And the stadium was pretty cool. But I don't know if the writing is because of they're at. Because they can't have the basis for a place to stay. They don't have the budget for it. But that really hurts the story. Does the story dictate the budget? And does the budget dictate the story? Well, I don't know. Only the writers know, and the AMC and Gimple and all those people do. So I think that the Denim Factory, exactly, James, exactly, another one. Denim Factory, like, no, they don't stay. We haven't seen the Denim Factory. They left. They're gone. It's like, what are you doing? That was a big thing at the end of season 4. They're like, we're going to be here. Denim Factory. Where does season 5 start up? In an airplane going in the middle of nowhere, in the woods. And then you're like, what are you doing? It's like, come on. If the show, exactly, they're all over the place. So if the story is all over the place and the writing's all over the place, what do you think the viewers are like? This is all over the place, you know? So Shelly, I disagree. I feel Shelly writes, Madison didn't die. Well, where has she been? Where has Madison been all this time? Will we see her again? I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I don't think she's there. She could come back because, again, the show is all over the place. The writing could be all over the place, so we'll see there too. So big sexy. What's that beard I see? Well, I'm just growing it out for two things. I'm just growing it out because I have done some recording of a scene for my Fight For Us book series. So I don't have an actor. I don't have a film crew. I don't have makeup people. I don't have anything. I got myself, my camera, and my wife. I got friends back in New Jersey that could help me out, but they can't really help me. My dad's back in New Jersey. My family is everything back in New Jersey, and I would love for them to help me, but I'm growing out my beard for a scene because stuff has aged. It's in later on in the zombie apocalypse, so I got to have a beard. That's for sure. So that's part of it as well. And I've been doing some shooting and some reshooting and some things. And I'm trying to put stuff together for a video clip for you guys and for really everybody to be interested in my Fight For Us book series. I would love for it to get picked up. I would love for it to become a streaming service series, you know, like Amazon. Because it would be great if it was on Amazon because the books are on Amazon. They're on Barnes & Noble as well, but the book series is through Amazon and a subsidiary from it, so it just makes sense that it would go through Amazon, and I would love for that to happen, and I'm trying to talk to the people and get a hold of this and everything down the road, but if anybody's got a connection with the Amazon Productions, Amazon Prime Video, let's look into it. Let's try to make it happen. You know, that would be pretty amazing. I think I can make a quality series of the zombie apocalypse from my story. It would be awesome too. But that's here nor there. Maybe that's down the road. It's a dream. Maybe it's a pipe dream, but you got to dream big. If you believe in yourself, you can do it. So I'm not gonna give up. That's for sure. Boyd Q&A. Do you think Logan will die soon and will be introduced to a new, better villain? Logan is disappointing because he's just the old crotchety old man, the old neighbor. I got a couple of those in my neighborhood. He's like, get off my lawn. Don't put your trash can near my property. Don't park here. Get your truck out of here thing. We have more bullets than we know what to do. I hope the show gets a great villain, but I just don't know if it's ever going to happen. That would be pretty great too. So I don't know. I don't know what the writers are going to do. Your guess is as good as mine, Boyd, and really everybody's guess is as good as mine too. So, exactly, I agree. Logan is sort of a sucky villain. He kind of is. He's just not really anything too. Thank you, Rhett Brown. Q&A loves this channel, so I appreciate it too. And I love you guys for joining me here too. So, Joey, I can see your question, but you're writing a derogatory word in the question, so it's not coming up. But he writes, do you think Morgan was a D to Grace telling her that he wasn't going with her? Seeing Grace cry was a heartbreaker. So I'll talk about that. I'll do the spoiler stuff, the recap in the last half hour of it, but I'll talk about that. I'll talk about Morgan and Grace. I don't think Morgan was a D because I think Morgan is a broken person, and we know that he is. He is definitely trying to stay alive, and he's trying to do big things in the zombie apocalypse, but he's afraid to get close to people, and we'll talk about that for sure. Let me see what you got here for it. So, like I said at the beginning, hopefully you guys saw it. I don't know, but The Walking Dead cast and crew and everybody was off this past week. They do that every season, every filming season. They go for about mid-season. It's all right, Joey. It just doesn't show up with the thing on there, too. It's okay. I wasn't hiding it. It just comes up that way for the comments for words, so that's why it wasn't coming up. But the Walking Dead was off mid-season break, so I don't know if they filmed 1 through 8 and now they're on episode 9, or they filmed about 8 episodes, whether it's 1, 2, 4, 6, 12, 15, whatever it is, they're jumping around is the word. So I think they have at least filmed 8 episodes. And if they're jumping around, I just hope it's organized so it doesn't get crazy for it too. So I don't know what's going to happen for the back half of season 10, or if they got to do a couple shoots at the beginning or what. But I'm excited to see what happens for season 10. I'm excited to see what's up with all these cast, all the survivors, all the theories, all the speculation, all the rumors, all the thing. It's kind of cool too. So Jane writes, hey, Brian, Logan isn't anything without his backup team. That's true. Logan is pretty useless. Logan has, I don't even see Logan with a gun. I don't even see that. His people have a gun too. So let's talk about Wes. That just jumped into my head. So Wes is the guy with dreads that was watching the videotape. People thought he was Dwayne, but he's Wes. Unless he had some drastic change in his life and he's like, I go by Wes now and I don't recognize my dad, Morgan, on the videotape. Wes is going to be a new character too. So we didn't see Wes in this episode. He was there last episode, but the show just jumps around. It's too much, and they do that again every season. Every season it's jumping around to this and that and here over there too. And it's just frustrating. You can have some jumping around this and that, this and that, then and now, if it connects too. So it's like, man, what's going on here? It just doesn't bode well for the future of the show to get that better to grow for. Sorry, I'm reading some of the comments too. Like meat, cranium, barbecue, and review, grow out the beard. So yeah, I'm growing it out for sure. It's just getting a little itchy, so I gotta look around there too. John Graham, Q&A. What's Negan's nightmare? What is Negan's nightmare? Well, I'm guessing Negan's nightmare is the idea of that he's dreaming that Michonne is standing over him with Lucille, and she picks him to do another lineup. I just think that's Negan's nightmare. That's my idea of it. That's what I say in a couple of my videos, that he could be dreaming that it's not actually real, because we saw Old Man Rick, and it was a dream state, a hallucination, something that didn't happen, or foreshadowing of the future that potentially may happen in the movies, but we have not seen it on there too, and that was in some trailers and some stuff that was like, whoa, Old Man Rick, we're getting Old Man Rick, and we never got it. Meat Cranium, BBQ, and Review, Q&A, is Sherry going to be found by Dwight? I hope so. I don't know. We don't know anything there too. There's been no word if that actress was filming. We don't know if that's going to happen. I hope so. I hope that's one of those things that makes sense, because if we invested all this time, that's really frustrating. Whether you're reading a book, watching a show, watching a movie, and whatever, or a series, and you invest your time. You invest your time in these characters, this story. You see where they started. You see where it began. You see where this. You see where that. And then there's no payoff. And there's a big time jump or something that just glances over things. And you're like, what? Well, what about this? What about that? You've been building this up for a long time, and there's no payoff. There's no reward for it too, And that's something that I definitely do not have in my book series, Fight For Us. And it's one of those things that I hate to watch, to read, to be a part of. And I would never do that to my readers, to my viewers, to my subscribers, to my friends, to my family, whoever takes time in this. So I don't know if that's ever going to get better, but I just want the payoff to be there too. So Protected Lion, great question. At the BT channel, what would it take for you to stop watching and reviewing Fear the Walking Dead? I don't know, because I'm going to watch it because it's connected with the Walking Dead universe. And I feel like that's a lot of people watching the show. They watch it, they tolerate it, and they enjoy it when it's okay, and there's certain moments, but overall, they're just watching it because it's part of the Walking Dead universe. And that's why I watch it mostly there too. And I was super excited when we were getting a prequel show and a prequel series and a prequel thing, and we were like, yes, we're getting the start of the zombie apocalypse. And it was like, wah, wah, wah. And it was a big miss. A big miss. You came up to bat, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, down by 4, and whoosh, strikeout, in my opinion, for a lot of things. There's been some good moments. There's some some good things, not great things. And I like Daniel. I liked Nick. Alicia has grown on me. Strand is growing on me. It's definitely something that's great. John has been a great introduction. June has been good. Althea has been a different idea, and you can, progress the story too. So, Big Sexy is asking a PT question. Help, PT. Plantar fasciitis and neuropathy, so painful. Neuropathy is tough because it's nerve pain. Plantar fasciitis is definitely, you can treat it. Definitely want to stretch out the plantar fascia, the big toe. Definitely get a golf ball, tennis ball, something in there to break it up, softball or something. Not a softball, but baseball kind of thing to help break it up on your foot. Get in there, a frozen water bottle, plastic water bottle. Be careful there too. Get some stretches. Look up plantar fasciitis stretches. If you can tolerate them, Big Sexy, try them out. Don't let them get too painful. They should be uncomfortable, but plantar fasciitis can be a little painful. But you need to break up that inflammation, stretch it out. Look at the footwear. Try insoles. Try to get new sneakers or shoes. It might help out. Some of them is the footwear. Usually walking barefoot is worse for plantar fasciitis, but just try to do the best you can with it. Vicky Nealand, do you know when the movies start? They haven't even started filming. Andrew Lincoln is in Australia with Naomi Watts filming Penguin Bloom, based on the story of Cameron and some of the Blooms. The last name Blooms, not Orlando, but Blooms, the other Blooms. No. The Blooms, they are filming that in Australia. So he hasn't filmed anything, as far as I know, as yet. So I would assume they'll start filming after The Walking Dead is done in November. The spinoff is done in January or so, and Fear the Walking Dead will start filming there too. So I would assume it'll probably be December, January, or February. Late this year, early next year, they'll probably start filming too. So it's interesting for it too. So you're welcome. Meat Cranium BBQ and Review. Great question. Jason Scott, what Q&A, who wrote the stuff on the tree? We don't know yet, Jason Scott. We don't know what's going to happen with the tree. That's the story that's building for that. So either it's Madison, one person that knows Madison that got away, Sherry, or something else entirely. So I don't know if what's it going to be, but I'm excited to find out. That's something that needs to be big. Needs to be great, needs to be awesome. What if it's Walker or Crazy Dog or somebody like that? That would be cool. Don't know if it's going to happen, but not sure. So, what did you see? Lincoln, Q&A. Who do you Maggie's gonna do when Negan finds out? So, what do you think Maggie's gonna do when Negan says hi? We got to get Maggie back on the show. We have not seen Maggie or heard Maggie's coming back. Besides, they've been working on it. They want it to happen way back when Lauren Cohan's show got canceled. And I want her back on the show. I think Lauren Cohan is great. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's a person that can be great for the show. Maggie's character has been around since season 2, so it connects the Green Connection family there, runs Hilltop. Hopefully she comes back with a great group. Her son, Herschel, what's going on with that? Herschel's got to be like 6 years old now, so that'd be pretty cool. We just don't know anything what's going on there too. But I don't think Maggie is going to be too happy to see Negan out of his jail cell, if really when that happens too. So Joey the Gator, what are your thoughts on next week's episode since they showed the promo at the end of the credits in this episode? I actually didn't see that because the way I saw it, it wasn't on there. So I'll have to wait and see and talk about that. Let's talk about season 5, episode 10 before we get to 511. Protected Line. I'd love for you to do a video tour of your home or a personal video. They're engaging. Please consider it. I'll definitely Protected Line. I definitely want to do more of them. I want to do more like sit down comedies things where it's kind of get to know me and some series that going around in my life. And, every Wednesday I usually go to Sam's Club, and it's one of those things where every time I go, not every time, but probably like 90% of the time I go there, it's pretty crazy of something too. People are rude. They just block the aisleways. They park their cart and walk away. There's people that are working there that are blocking stuff. And you're like, what are you doing on there too? So it's just like disrespectful and rude. And it's like, come on, get out of my way. I want to get in, get my chicken, my couple of things, and I'm out. See you. But, so I got a couple things in the hopper. I also have the scene that I've been working on is in my house. So you'll get to see my house a little bit too. So you'll get to see some of that as well. And it's pretty cool. I'm trying to make it so it would be pretty interesting, for people to see it. Oh man, Big Sexy's a concrete floor in my house. That's pretty tough to walk on, and not gonna lie. So try to keep like flip-flops or sandals or something to brace it. Just wouldn't walk barefoot on there too. So, but you can just stretch it out and break up the inflammation on there to break up the plantar fasciitis. What you got there for great questions. But you guys are always a big part of the community, the channel on there too. So got to put this out there. We just were at 83,048 subscribers. So if we can get 17,000 more, well, just under 17,000, but 17,000 more subscribers, we will be hitting 100,000 subscribers. And that's a big deal because you get a silver play button through Google and YouTube, which is Google, but YouTube. And that would be awesome. You get a gold one for 1 million, but that's kind of like one of those things. That's all. It's probably unachievable unless something big happens. But I think that the channel here can continue to go and grow because of awesome people like yourself. And I can't have, people just subscribe, and a lot of people can't make people subscribe. But if you have friends and family and you go to school and you have friends at school, high school, college, around the neighborhood, whatever, and if they like The Walking Dead or you think they would like the channel, tell them to check it out and hit that subscribe button. It would really go a long way, and it'll bring some more notoriety to the channel. I think that our channel is definitely growing, and it's definitely got a long way to go, but it's been on now for 4.5 years. And we've come a long way, and we're trying to have awesome people, that everyone here, and we're trying to get that. And it's not the number of people, it's the quality of people. I rather have less people and higher quality than to have, 400,000 people, but everyone fights and everyone causes problems on there too. So there's going to be disagreements, and there's definitely going to be a thing that isn't going to unite everybody. But The Walking Dead is debated if it's good, if it's bad, if it's still on, who likes this, who hates this. Like, there's people that hate Daryl, and I don't know if they hate Daryl because a lot of people love Daryl, and there's always those people that hate things because other people like them. And I don't get that because I'm not that person at all. I understand that people like the show for different reasons. I like Daryl. I like Carol. I like Michonne. I like Judith. Some people hate Judith, right? There's a video going around that I shared on Facebook. It is Kaylee Fleming opening up 2 Funko Pops of Judith Grimes, Funko Pop of Judith Grimes. And she's super excited about it. And it's like the cutest video ever because she probably didn't know what it was. And they're probably going to go on sale. And I'll definitely have to buy one because I love Judith. And I love Kaylee Fleming. And she's like the sweetest person. She's the sweetest child actor I've ever met in my life. And I don't get starstruck about it. And it's cool when you see a celebrity. And I've met some celebrities over the years and around in Tampa Bay and everything. And it's cool. But the pure joy in Kaylee Fleming's face when she sees her Funko Pops. And if you haven't seen the video, check it out on her Instagram. And I shared it on Facebook and everything too if you follow me. But it's like, it's real. And that's awesome. And people are like, I hate Judith. She's the most annoying character ever. I just don't get it. Well, great. Then you don't get it. If you don't get it, then just keep it rolling. Don't put down people who like the character and like the actress, because she's like one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. And I just met her on a cruise and whenever, it was fun and it was cool at conventions and stuff. But it's like, she was like real. She was a pure joy person that was awesome. And I love meeting those type of people, regardless if she was, 12 years old or whatever. She was just an awesome person. And I hope she becomes a great actress for a long, long time. And I'll never forget the day I got to meet her. But some people don't like her. Some people don't like Michonne. Some people don't like Negan. Some people don't like this. Some people like Alpha. Some people don't. It's fine. You can like the show for different reasons. Janet Q&A, Brian, do you think Daryl will actually beat up Negan or will be stopped? Asking because I didn't see any scenes showing Negan with bruises and bandages. Great point. Negan is bloody in one of the things behind the scenes on his face, but I think it's around the same time when he saves Aaron or works with Aaron or something happens with Aaron. Is it the Whispers? Is it Brandon? I think it's more like Brandon. It makes more sense, but I don't think that Negan is being punched by Daryl in the trailer. I think that's kind of a misleading thing because you see Daryl saying, "We've never been in the room together, man to man or toe to toe," whatever he says, right? And then he's like, and then Negan's like, yeah, that's right. Because we saw Negan take out Simon. And it might be a great fight to see Negan fight Daryl. That'd be pretty great. And I don't know who would actually win, but Daryl has kind of plot armor on him. He's the man. He's the face of The Walking Dead right now. Some will say Rick, but Rick's gone from the show. So if you're gone, how can you be the face? So I would say Daryl, Carol, Michonne definitely are, and Daryl's definitely one of the faces. The top 3 for sure. Slezzle2290, how long could you realistically survive a real-world zombie apocalypse? That's the big thing. That's a big question. There's a lot of factors. It depends on where you are at the time of the zombie apocalypse when the zombies take over around you. If you have supplies, if you're a prepper, if you're prepared, if you have weapons, guns, shelter, all that stuff. I'm actually going to make a video about that, about supplies that you should have. Not so much for a zombie apocalypse, but definitely for a zombie apocalypse. More like a bug out bag for a survival kit, for a hurricane preparedness thing. I live in Florida, so I really need to make one of those. Well, a better one. I have some of that, but you need more of that. Like we have bottled water and batteries and all that stuff, and that's very important. But we'll talk about that in another video. But the average person will probably not last very long in a zombie apocalypse. If you were prepared for it, maybe a month or 2 or less. Danny Toller, what confirmed deaths have we got so far? Nothing yet. There's nothing confirmed for season 10. It's still one of those things that's up in the air. They don't know what actually they filmed so far. But my latest video, I talk about predictions. I still think Ezekiel goes. I think Rosita or Sadiq or Father Gabriel. I don't think they kill Eugene. I think Eugene is an asset to the show, and he's hilarious. So I think it's someone involved with that love quadrangle. I think Connie or Kelly or Luke or 2 or 3. I think Brandon goes. I think Alpha goes. I think Gamma goes. I think more of those. I think smaller level, survivors, hilltop people, oceanside people. Rachel or Cindy. I still think Rachel. I still stand by my charter theory. I call it a cursed charter theory because it's just kind of a thing like you signed your life away. And I think it's kind of a thing. So I think that is a good point. And the people that signed the charter are Ezekiel and Carol, even though I think Carol survives. I think Carol is the last person on that charter that survives. Ezekiel, I think Ezekiel, Rachel, Tara's gone, and Father Gabriel. So does Father Gabriel get his comic death? Potentially. Father Gabriel could actually get that, or does it go to Gage or someone there too? I think it makes sense where it's pretty cool too. So Xmas Girl, it's all right if you're late. Don't apologize. Life goes on. You can always check it on the replay. I'm just glad you got around to be here too as well as everybody here. That's, I go for an hour. So if you can make it the whole hour, great. If you can't, that's all right too. People have lives and people got to go somewhere. So it's pretty cool. So I'm glad you guys taking the time to be here, even if it stay for a couple minutes or on there as well too. But let's talk about season 5, episode 10. Let me see. Rhett Q&A, what is your favorite Rick Grimes moment? That's a great question. One of my favorite Rick Grimes moments are, I like it when he kills Teddy Bear Girl. I like it when he is reunited with Carl. I don't know. There's a lot of great moments of Rick. That's a good thing. That might have to be a top 10 Rick moments that I like. Might have to do a video on that too. Slizzle2290. Who's the toughest character in the history of the series? My vote is split between Merle and Abraham. Well, toughness is relative. It's a perspective thing. If you want to say toughest, some would say Carol. Some would say Daryl. Some could say Michonne. Some would say Rick. Best fighter? You're probably going with best fighter. Jesus is probably the best fighter. It would have been pretty awesome if you saw Merle fight Jesus. That would have been pretty cool. But toughest is relative. But fighters, there's a lot of great fighters, but I think Jesus is the best fighter. That was not utilized on the show correctly, in my opinion. For sure. But Lincoln, who's going to be the character you miss the most when they die? I don't know. So far, I think the biggest impact to me is Abraham. I liked Glenn, don't get me wrong, but I loved Abraham. Michael Cutlass was great. You definitely recommend him if you ever get a chance to meet him. He's a very cool individual. Probably Abraham so far. Jesus was a big impactful character death. But if Michonne goes, Michonne's my favorite character, so it'd have to be Michonne. So let's talk about season 5, episode 10. So I saw the episode yesterday, and it's all about a mall. It's pretty cool. You see Grace and Morgan and Dwight. They're the main people. You see Daniel, and he's leading the convoy. You see Skidmark. And then you see the convoy show up in there too. But it's all about Morgan and Grace. And they're trying to really have a connection. Grace is worried about she's going to die. She's worried about being sick, radiation poisoning. She passes out. Morgan takes care of her. Dwight leaves the mall, sets up a trap for Logan's, well, not a trap, but like a connecting point where he meets one of Logan's characters, people, but a lone Logan character person. The guy's going to torture him. And it's funny because Dwight is a character that didn't really like or care too much. He's kind of like a C-list character on The Walking Dead. And now he's an A-list character on Fear. It's like coming up on the B team, from the A team to the B team. You were a low-list A team member, and now you're on the B team, and you're one of the top characters. And the guy knocks out Dwight, ties him up with zip ties or whatever. And the guy's like, he comes back into the truck, and Dwight's like, what are you going to torture me? Look at me. I've already been through enough. There's nothing you can do that's gonna hurt me. Basically, like, look at my face, man. I've been through a lot. Get out of here with that. And it's a pretty cool moment. Then the guy comes out, and then like it sets up where a thing where Dwight can get the upper hand, and the Walker comes, and the guy turns and shoots him, and Dwight makes a decision to let him out, to let him live, or kill him, and he keeps him alive. And hopefully that guy comes back around and helps Dwight or does something with his life because Dwight let him live. And it's like, man, pretty interesting. Xmas Girl 304, how do you feel about Dwight letting the Logan dude go? Do you feel like it was a mistake? It was only a mistake if that guy comes back around and kills somebody. If he kills Dwight or he kills Luciana or Charlie or Strand or Daniel or something. You're like, you let that go, guy. You let that guy get away, and he came back and it bit you in the butt. So if the writers are going that way, it's going to be like, but I can see what Dwight was doing. Dwight was like, okay, I had a chance. They gave me a second chance. Daryl gave me a second chance. I did some terrible things, and I'm doing the best I can with the second chance that I was given. And everybody deserves a second chance. But in a zombie apocalypse, do they really? So in my book, Logan should have been taken out by the group. And if Dwight was smart, he just would have taken this guy out. But we'll see if it comes back around to bite him in the butt. Joey the Gator Q&A, what are your thoughts on Talking Dead not coming back until season 5 finale? I was unaware that was the thing. But thank you, Joey, for the information. Kind of annoyed by it, because I love to get the codes and the points, and I want some more points for TWD rewards. That's more the thing about it. I didn't even watch the last Talking Dead with that. I watched the preview special, but I didn't watch the Talking Dead. So, I don't know. I'm okay with it. I'm all right with it. All right. So, Morgan and Grace are in the mall after Dwight leaves. And Morgan lets his guard down a little bit with Grace. And you can see that Grace has an attraction to Morgan. And Grace is probably dying. She's probably sick, whether it's dehydration or food poisoning, or she's being sick or something, or she's actually got radiation poisoning or sickness or something. And she's probably dying. But there's an urgent care in there, and there's a whole big thing, and the walkers are there. And there's like so many walkers in there, by the way. Like, what the heck happened in this mall that all these people died? You have all these stores that are boarded. It just doesn't make sense. But that's the show, It's like, what are you doing? And they go there because they're going to save this guy that's not even in the room. He's on the roof. And you're like, what are you doing, right? And he's still alive. And then at the end, Daniel comes and they get out there. Daniel gives Dwight a haircut. It's a nice little moment. And Dwight's like, he looks a little better, but it's still rough with that scar. And it's kind of crazy. But Grace likes Morgan. And we kind of had that feeling that there could be something between them. And they're supposed to ride together to go to their next location because they can't stay at the mall because they're afraid Logan's going to find the mall. Like, it's a mall. Like, you're going to find the mall anyway. The mall's not moving. Like, what are you talking about? You don't think Logan knows where a mall is or could find it? Come on, right? But the mall is a great location. They should have stayed there, and realistic things, they should have stayed at the mall, but they didn't. And then Morgan's like, I'm going to go find Al. Al's out there by herself. But the last time we saw this, they were all sitting by a campfire, and there was all this stuff. And then we saw, Wes, and then Wes called them or whatever. But where's Althea? Where's June? Where's John? Where's Alicia? Where's Sarah? Where's Wendell? Where's Luciana? Where's Charlie? Where's the kids? Where's all these characters, right? We don't know where Al went. But at the end, Morgan's leaving there, and Morgan gets upset because he feels like he wants to get to know Grace, but he doesn't want to let that happen because he's a broken person, and he probably feels bad about his wife still, and he talks about Dwayne a little bit. And Dwayne is one of those things that comes up when in story, and he's talking more and more about it, but he never says he was Dwayne or he was this. He says he is this. And that's given a lot of people false hope that Dwayne's still alive, which is kind of annoying. But it's one of those things where he's just not that point in his life where he's accepted things. He's accepted the way Dwayne went out. He is this thing. He is this. It's just a common subtle thing that people do when they can't get past it. When they say he is this, but Dwayne is gone. So it's interesting too. Sorry, I saw some questions when I was talking there too. Jane. Q&A, Bri, do you think Morgan and Grace running into another group when they get into the mall? Do you think Grace running? They don't run into another group. They're all walkers. There's no other person there too. So Morgan, Grace, and Dwight are in the mall. Dwight leaves. Morgan and Grace were called there to go find this guy Chuck that was bit, and he was going to die. He was going to turn anyway, but they wanted to. He's in a red jacket, and they're supposed to put him down because he didn't want to turn. He doesn't turn yet. He's just not there, so they have to find him, and they get him on there too. So, but there is no other group there. They're all walkers, which is kind of crazy. Like it's like really all this whole group. Like how did they all die? You got a mall full of supplies and stores and everything there too, and then stuff was boarded up. I just don't get how everyone died there too. So, but I hope that we get to meet some other characters and stuff makes sense. But it's all about the oil fields and Logan wants the oil fields, and the group's not there. They're not telling them information to get it, and it's But Dwight brings up a good point. He said, "Look." Dwight is the kind of thing that saves this episode for me because he talks about Sherry a little. He talks with Sherry about Sherry with this guy, Logan's person. He doesn't talk to Sherry. Sherry's not there yet. But Logan's guy and Dwight, there's a whole thing there too. But also Dwight and Morgan, they talk about it as look, we were on the different sides and we switched and, we did some things. And Morgan's like, I know. And he's got that little Morgan voice like, look, all life is precious and we can save people and we can help people. And Dwight's like, look, how long are we going to have to be watching and looking over our back and worrying about this group? And it's a great point because people are dangerous. It's one of those things where I'm like, man, I just don't like the idea of having people coming after me any more than necessary because it's enough to worry about food, shelter, water, safety, walkers, and people who are dangerous too. There's a lot of stressors here too. Xmas Girl 304, where is Al? We don't know. They don't answer that. They don't talk about that. She's just out and about. She's just recording away, I guess, in the SWAT truck. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So, Jane, Logan, or what you would say was pretty funny. Logan needs to go shopping for new shoes so he'll find them at the mall. So he's like, yeah, I got to go get some kicks, man. I got to go into Foot Locker and get some Nikes because my feet are hurting. Get some gel insoles, Lincoln, do you think the group will question Morgan's leadership? I don't think so. I think Morgan's the leader. But there is a part there too where at the end when Daniel comes and leads the caravan and they're going to load stuff up and take stuff from the mall. And you could see like Morgan wants to do something, Dwight wants to do something, and Daniel's like, what? You can kind of see it in his face. And I don't know if he's acting, if it's there, if it's not there, or if he's just not really agreeing with it. But I wouldn't mind to see Daniel be like, look, we have to take these people out. They're dangerous. The longer they're alive, the longer we have to worry about this. And Morgan's like, look, we got to do so. We got to keep people alive. That's what we do. That's why I'm here still. And you're like, come on now. I would love to see a difference of opinion here. Let's not turn this into the Morgan show, because Morgan is kind of annoying to me. He's kind of like, look, I'm going to kill everybody, clear mode, and then that switch is turned off, and now he's like, I'm going to save everybody. I'm saving everybody. And you're like, well, which is it? You can be a little bit of both here, you know? You got to pick and choose to save the right people. But they got to find a community, and they got to find it yesterday. Still haven't seen that yet, because they leave the mall, which would be pretty cool. So it looked to be a real mall, actually, too. Like the way they shot it, the way it was. And, they had the whole thing with the walkers. Then they get the power up, and they're taking out walkers left and right. And then there's a part, you're going to watch the episode tonight if you haven't seen it, right? So they're sitting in a GNC type store, a supplement store, right? And they're just talking, and they're just talking, and they're just talking. And they're like getting to know each other. And then Grace says a thing about a horse story and stuff. A horse story. Sorry if I didn't say that. And then the glass starts to break because all the walkers are looking at him in there too. And they're like banging on the glass and they're hitting the glass. And then like, oh, we got to go. So then they just hightail it out of there and then are walking down the back walkway to get to the back room of the generator to turn the generator on. And they got headlamps on and they're walking. And then they see some walkers coming down the same path but coming towards them. And they're like, Morgan, what are we going to do? Morgan's like, turn your light off. Turn your light off. And he's like, just duck down and turn your light off. And like, what's the point of that? So then Morgan, they have no light. They can't see anything. And Morgan's just like, taking all the walkers out evidently. And then Grace puts her light on. And Morgan's like, And then Grace takes out the walker. And Morgan's like, I had it. What was the point of turning the lights off? So they don't see them? They could smell them. They can hear them walking. They make noise. It's just like, what are you doing here? That made no sense to me at all. You'll see it in tonight's episode, but that's the show in a nutshell. Joey the Gator, do you think Morgan will go back to Atlanta to say goodbye to his wife and son and wife? I don't think so. I don't think anybody's going back to Atlanta. What are your thoughts on the ranch that was mentioned? Is this group's new home? I hope so, Xmas Girl. The ranch needs to be a thing that set it up. And it's probably going to bring back memories to Alicia and the ranch with, the autos. Which was like a great thing. But they're running out of water. It never rained there, evidently, too. So, I don't know. But the ranch, they got to have a community somewhere. And need to bring people back there and to set things up. So, we'll see what happens. Boy, do you think the new showrunners will ever get the hint that they messed up with the unnecessary reboot time jump after the damn explosion? Maybe they have, but they already jumped all in. They've already went past that. There's no turning back. They can't do anything too crazy. They can't turn back time. They can't do anything. They have to just go full force ahead, deal with it, and just deal with the repercussions that it makes no sense. And it's just one of those things that I don't think they care too much because they were handed a show that already had 3 seasons. And then if, Nick was wanting to leave, they had to get rid of him. And then they chose to get rid of Madison, which, a lot of people are mad about. I'm not, but a lot of people are. Do you think we're going to get Clear Morgan again? Well, what if Grace dies? Will that flip the switch for Morgan to go in clear mode? He's like, clear mode, Grace. What if it's Logan who takes out Grace and that sets Morgan off? I think so. But just kind of all over the place too. And I could see what the show's doing, going out and rescue people and doing all this stuff in there too, but I just don't buy it too much that these people can do all the stuff that they're doing. This isn't like a rescue team, SEAL Team 12 over here, that knows how to take people out and they have enough weapons and tactics and they know how to do a lot of things, but I don't know. It's a zombie apocalypse show that's just all over the place. Captain Burrito 115. Man, I want a burrito now. Do you think we're going to get Clear Morgan again? I already just answered that. Sorry. Just jumped on me to post it again. So, great name. Michael Ackley. Whatever happened to walkers using bricks to break glass, climbing fences and ladders they did in season 1? That's not going to come back around because that was like we didn't know what the walkers were going to do what they could be, because Frank Darabont and previous people, they were trying to make walkers like still human, that the essence of the person that is there still is there. So they could still do things. They could, because if you watch some zombie shows, they fire guns and they do things, and there's the essence of that person is still there too. So, Joey, I'm not sure. Do you think Alicia dies in episode 16? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I know she makes it to the end of the season because she was filming there, and then they wrapped, and then she was like on vacation, and then I think she went to Hawaii. Alicia Debnam Carey per Instagram too. So, Viper Gueva. Who was Alicia's last kill, though? I forgot. Already. Well, was it that walker with the radioactive walker with that had the thing around it that she got the blood all over? Was that her last kill? It's definitely one of them. News Live. Have you watched Zombie Tidal Wave last night? It was awesome. That's the one with Ian Ziering from Beverly Hills 90210. My wife actually told me about it yesterday. It's on Sci-Fi, or what is it? News Live. That is it like a Sharknado craziness? I'm kind of excited for Army of the Dead with Batista and Garrett Dillahunt, who plays John, and it's Zack Snyder's movie for Netflix, Army of the Dead. I'm excited to see what happens there. Should be pretty cool. Nathan OK Q&A. Do you think Nick should have died at the dam in season 3? No, I think Nick should still be alive. I think Nick would be a character that would be interesting, but his dependency and narcotic stuff and drug stuff for his character was really not something I was really that interested in. I was kind of early on, but it just kind of got annoying for me there as well. Xmas Girl 304 Q&A. When Morgan finds Al, do you think Samara will be with her? They return to find Grace is ill, and Samara starts doing inventory. I don't know what's going to happen with Morgan and Al and what's going to happen for that too. Eventually they got to get to the oil fields. We're going to meet a new character, is the guy from House. He's going to be on there too. And we're going to meet a couple people. We haven't seen really anything. I don't know what my train of thought was there, but because I see Boyd was talking about Mel from the Vultures. So if you're talking about Alicia's last kill as a person, I guess it was the Vultures, but as the walkers, it was that radioactive walker. But I don't know what's going to happen with Morgan and Al and where they're going to go there. I know John and June probably have to find a community for them, but I don't know what the future is going to be for the show, because the oil fields, there has to be some big thing with Logan and Logan's group. But if Logan's group has all these guns and bullets, how can our group survive? What's going to happen? Are they just going to give them the oil fields? Because you're like, that's kind of weak after all this. Ultimately, that's the way the show would probably go, or they'll probably just give that to them. But if Logan, I don't know what they're going to do with Logan, because Logan to me seems like a really crotchety, weak villain. And we haven't had really a good villain on this show yet. I don't know why you just can't make a villain. Like, it's like watching Batman just patrol Gotham City without the villains. Without really the Joker and the Riddler and the Penguin and all that stuff too. And you're like, well, this is kind of weak. Without the villain aspect, you can't have the hero aspect. And yeah, you can have walkers and this and all that stuff too, but it's like, man, supplies are going to run out, so they got to, live off the land and be there too. But I agree with Renee, the person that, sorry, Renee, I think you said that if Alicia goes, it's going to hurt the show. It's going to hurt the ratings. It's going to hurt the series. It's going to hurt everything. It's not going to be a good thing for the show too. So, like, if you got rid of Morgan, Dwight, Alicia, John, or June, probably not Althea. I think Althea's safe too. Strand, maybe. That would really hurt the show, in my opinion. But you can get rid of Charlie, but who wants to see that? Luciana. And Daniel helps the show a lot, but I just feel like Daniel could be the show's big death too. So, Chaplain Co., your thumbnail is Dwight. Is he really coming back? He's been back since the first half of season 5. It's Dwight, Morgan, and Grace at the mall in this episode. But Dwight's been back since the first half of season 5. So he's been on Fear. He's not on The Walking Dead. He's on Fear. Janet, Brian, any thoughts on Maggie's return second half? Also, will she be very different from the person she used to be? I hope Maggie returns, most likely in the second half, because I would assume if Michonne goes away, Maggie comes in. That would be like the kind of flip. I know that Maggie is going to be hopefully the same person, a protective person. She's not going to like that Negan is out. That would be a big conflict, and it'd be good for the show. Hopefully, I think she comes and hopes and saves the day. She comes with people from Georgie's people. Hopefully, she comes around there as well. And if you watch the preview where it's Daryl and Carol in Oceanside or some beach area or right outside Oceanside, they talk about the letters that they were getting from Maggie, but they're not now. So that's pretty cool. And they mentioned her. They have to bring her back, right? If they're already talking about her, they have to bring back a big reveal. If Michonne goes away, Maggie's got to come back in, possibly to save the day, too. Sorry, I saw some questions. I'm not sure, News Live, when Army of Darkness is coming out. I'm not sure when that is. But some people, you don't watch Fear, Chaplain, so what are we doing in here? Chaplain Co. But yeah, he's on Fear. He's been on Fear since the beginning of last season, or this season, the first half. So, Joey the Gator, where the kids at? Where the kids at? They're with Wendell, wherever they're stationed at. I don't know, but that's just a good way to be like, yep, those kids are away. They were a big part of the first half. Haven't seen them in the first 2 episodes of the back half of season 5. So eventually we might see them a little bit here and there. They'll probably be in like 1 episode watch, but it was a big driving point in the first half of season 5. But that's what the show does. Lincoln, how do you see Daniel going out? I see Daniel sacrificing himself for the greater good, blowing something up and being part in the collateral damage. I just want to know where all his guns and stuff are, are from the warehouse. And why did they just stay at his place? What are they doing? I guess that could be where the kids are. Maybe they're at Daniel's place. And why aren't they just there? Do you think season 6 will end on a cliffhanger? Well, Kevin, this is season 5. So I don't know how season 6 is going to start, but I would assume that season 5 could, but they need to learn their lesson about cliffhangers. People be like, I'm done watching if it's a bad enough cliffhanger, for sure. So Big Sexy says, Brian, if I ever get your book series, I'm going to need a fully weaponized wheelchair and a battle axe. Yeah. Well, I don't want to give too much away from that too, but there is a battle axe and a prominent character has a battle axe. But you want a weaponized wheelchair? Oh man, okay. I don't know. That might be a little too much like Wendell, but that'd be pretty cool too. So, but I could see that'd be pretty interesting. But doing that too. So we'll go a couple more minutes, but thank you guys for taking the time here. Slizzle, how many seasons do you see for The Walking Dead lasting? I would think that season 6 is the last final season, but I don't know. I just don't know what the end game of that's going to be. I don't know where they're going with it and where they're going to stop and what makes sense for it to stop, too. So, hopefully, Gimple, Kirkman, showrunners, they have a plan, but I don't know. Nathan, okay, do you think that Georgie could be on an episode on Fear similar to the one of The Walking Dead? Could she give them a key to a future? That'd be reaching really hard, especially because they're in Virginia versus Texas, but that would be kind of cool if they do that. I don't really know if Morgan really wasn't connected with Georgie. It was kind of like, Rosita and Enid and Maggie, and definitely Maggie at Hilltop. But that would be cool. That would be interesting. That could set up for the future. But that would be, I think, kind of really reaching for me too. So, sorry, I'm just getting caught up with a couple points here that were made too. Christy, Wells, there's a video on YouTube of the opening minutes of the first episode of The Walking Dead. Do you think it's legit? I'd have to watch it and see it. I doubt it's the opening minutes. Is it the one with Carol and Daryl in the woods and they're talking about that Carol was out looking for somebody and Daryl's asking about her? Because that's just the preview that was on Talking Dead, the preview special. So that's the only thing I've seen. I'd have to see it for sure. So Janet, thanks, Brian. Any thoughts on Winnie being Gamma? That's been our theory here for a while now, and it's probably not going to happen because we've had the theory, Janet, about Eric being a Whisperer mask. That would be pretty awesome. Didn't happen. And there's been several other theories that we thought could happen, and they did not. But I like the idea of Winnie being Gamma, or Winnie at least being a Whisperer. That would be pretty cool. What do we got here? Sorry, passing those. 2 guys. So thank you guys for joining me today. And always, I'll be doing another live stream next Sunday. I'm glad we connected. It worked out for it too. So again, I truly appreciate you taking the time. Please, guys, hit that subscribe button, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell your friends, tell your family. I would love to hit the goal of 100,000 subscribers. When we do, we're going to have some giveaways for it because that's a big thing. And I was trying to do some other giveaways, and we had one, and we did a couple back in the day, but we're going to be doing more of them when we hit more of that, and we can devote more time as well. Hopefully we'll have our scene coming out in a couple weeks. Maybe a little later, we might take it on there too for Fight For Us. Check out Fight For Us on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. We got paperback and digital versions. It's my baby. I'm very excited about it. Big things are coming for it. Hope you guys have checked it out. Thank you guys for joining me. Christy, I've not seen that video of a helicopter going down. I haven't seen it at all. But I think it's the summer of speculation. So I'm going to end on that with that. So thank you guys for taking the time. I truly appreciate it. Remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, and staying true to yourself. Enjoy tonight's episode. If you haven't seen it, I'll be doing my review later about it. I'll be talking about it there. I'll have videos all this upcoming week. I'll be having more stuff coming up about the spinoff, Fear the Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead. And as always, thanks, guys. See ya.